Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm here with my name is Paul Correa, and I'm here with my colleague Matt Penfold. Today, we're going to talk about mortgages in Gibraltar. Matt, you come from a traditional high street bank from NatWest during your working life. What do you think about mortgages in Gibraltar, and who do you
Thank,
go to?
thank you, Paul. So yeah, from that west back when I was a little bit younger then, many years ago. But no, so look, people come to Gibraltar and they may be interested in taking on a mortgage. And I think it will be no surprise to say that the options are a lot more limited here in Gibraltar than you would face in the UK. Now, in the UK, maybe people would go to their bank or you go to a online comparison site or maybe go to a mortgage broker for more specialist advice. Here in Gibraltar, you don't really get those options. There's a few banks that offer the mortgages, um, and these generally tend to be repayment mortgages only. There doesn't tend to be a kind of interest only option. Um, so what you will tend to find is that, and I think this is general with banking in Gibraltar. You will find a lot of similarities to the UK, but the offers are maybe not as attractive as the UK. Again, that's probably just a simple. Um, the UK's got a larger market. There's a lot more competition. Not the case here in Gibraltar. So you tend to find that if you've got money on a deposit, they will pay less interest than the UK, even though it's still kind of based on UK base rates. And mortgages tend to be a little bit higher than would be offered at the UK at that point. So I guess just like any mortgage you want to be taken out, you want to consider, are you going to look for a fixed term mortgage? Or do you want to look for a variable rate? That will depend on I guess the interest rates offered at that point, maybe how you view the outlook on interest rates as well. Because again, the Gibraltar rates will be tied into UK base rates. So if UK interest rates go down, then you'll get a more attractive mortgage rate in Gibraltar. And you can kind of compare between the providers here. Any tips, Paul, from your side on mortgages in Gibraltar?
No, I think you've got a choice, but it's not a massive choice like you would do in the UK. And some mortgage providers are more um, engaging than others. For example, the Gibraltar International Bank are keen in expanding their loan book. They don't come with requirements like some of the private banks that you know, demand assets in return for a mortgage, which is secured by the assets, which I think is a bit, yeah, it's a bit too much to ask because, you know, you, uh, it's unusual to ask for, you know, place with me 1 million and I'll lend you 300,000. Well, I might as well use my own money. So I think, yeah, maybe there's a couple of banks that provide the same service as in the UK, high street lenders, and then the rest are really private banks trying to expand their loan book, but really want to drive investment business. Um, but there's a good choice. The rates, I think, are marginally higher, Matt. Would that be
Yeah, marginally higher than the UK. Yeah, yeah.
because of
Um,
less competition, I would imagine.
exactly right. Yeah, yeah.
But some of the banks can turn it around very quickly. I think Gibraltar International Bank, particularly, I think they have a very slick onboarding service. And I think the key issue is um, the ability to service the debt and repay. So they don't just look at your net worth, they look at your income streams. Are you still in gainful employment? How much of your mortgage interest and capital payments, how much does that represent out of your total, monthly income? When do you plan to retire, and what will happen then? So yeah, I think quite efficient, I would say. Jib International Bank.
Yeah,
NatWest, I don't know if they want to expand their loan book. It depends. Um, and then, yeah, the other private banks are looking more for the investment business. And this is something they offer as a sweetener. But really, what they want is your investment business. So, yeah, mortgages can be provided. And it's a question of getting good advice and being sent in the right direction. If
exactly. Yeah. NatWest one is an interesting one because they're NatWest International, aren't they? So a lot of people come here and think, oh, I've got a NatWest account in the UK. Great, I've already got this relationship, but to them it's almost like a different bank, isn't it? You're kind of
yeah,
starting from scratch. But yeah, I think when you're applying for your mortgage here, it's the same process to the UK. You need to prove affordability. You need to provide, they basically want to know that they're going to get their money back, isn't there? And of course they will have that kind of loan to value, and you may be able to get a slightly better rate if you're borrowing less compared to the property that you're buying with. But really and truly, and we use this all the time on these videos, Paul, and I'm going to do it again, but we talk about the transition from the UK to Gibraltar. And, banking is okay. There's a little bit of a transition in the sense that you might have to open a new account, or you might have to go through their due diligence and that things. But when it comes to the actual process, it's pretty much the same as the UK, isn't it?
I would agree with you. I would say that, and the loan to values tend to be fairly generous if you're going to be in gainful employment for a long time, or you're in receipt of you have a high income. I think you'll find that yeah, quite generous loan to values, because property values hold quite well in Gibraltar. So I think the risk of a significant downturn in property values is not impossible, but I would say the probability is very low. So
Yeah.
the banks, I think, have some comfort knowing that property can hold its value unless you're paying over the odds. And in any event, you have to get a bank valuer to establish that, the valuation of the price you pay for the property is in line with the real estate valuer's own valuation. So
Yeah.
yeah, the process is no different to UK in that respect.
Yeah. And I guess if you're watching this video, you're interested in mortgages in Gibraltar, you're probably interested in property in Gibraltar. So we have another video ready for you. So keep an eye out on our YouTube for that. Um, but as with many things, if you're going through this process and you want to talk to us about mortgages or anything else as part of your relocation, reach out to Paul and I here at Fiduciary Wealth and would love to talk to you. So for now, goodbye.